Welcome back, my friends. It's Greg from The Samplers once again. Today, we're checking out Motion, a new kontakt instrument from Blecksaudio that brings evolving textures, rhythmic pulses, and expressive ambiences into your music. At its core is an intuitive XY pad that blends up the 4 layers of sounds, from lush orchestral recordings to edgy synth tones. These sounds morph and evolve in real time, making every performance feel dynamic and alive. Motion offers a huge range of creative possibilities with over 200 factory presets to spark your imagination. It's priced at €149 and Blecksaudio offers a free demo version so you can try it out. Just a heads up, it requires the full version of kontakt 6.7.1 or higher, and it won't work with the free kontakt player. A big thank you to Blecksaudio for providing this library for today's review. However, this video is 100% independent and made without any input whatsoever from Blecksaudio, so you're getting our honest, unfiltered thoughts. Stick around because I'll be showcasing some standout presets and I'll share a short composition I've written using Motion. If you like what you see, please hit that like button and subscribe for more virtual instrument reviews. Let's dive on in. So I've loaded up Motion in kontakt. I'm using version 8, but you only need a minimum of 6.7.1. And just a reminder, it needs the full version of kontakt. So let's kick things off and have a listen to some pads. I'm not even going to randomly select pads. These are just the first 3 in sequence. So from the outset, I have to declare my thoughts. I absolutely love this instrument. It's beautifully simple in its layout, a gorgeous, simple interface that is really expansive and lots of controls, but at the same time has a really lovely range of sound sources, from beautiful orchestral pads and sounds to different synths and moogs that allows you to create all manner of underlying ambience. Now, I think its superpower here is not as a standout synthesizer in its own right, like a DX7 or an M1, but providing the sustain and deep supportive undertone and textures to a score. And I'll show you later on, I've written a piece of music that takes motion as that underlying bed of support and provides a warm string section on top of it, which is totally separate from this instrument, but providing that really supportive role. I think it's absolutely gorgeous for your ambient sound scores, your film scores, where there are these delicate moments. Some really warm, lush sounds are really, really capable here. Let's take a moment for a brief walkthrough of the main core features. At the heart of Blecksaudio's motion is the XY pad, which is obviously configurable to the sliders of your choice on your MIDI keyboard or controller. There are up to 4 sound sources housed in each of the corners of the square. Each sound source, of course, you can select and choose from a huge array of possibilities to your heart's content. There are the familiar pan and volume controls at this upper layer, and also there is the randomize feature. Let's click a little further for some detail. Hovering over here is a shadow menu that if you click on for A, reveals each of the menus in corners A, B, C, and D. This is where the magic happens to allow you to shape and configure the possibilities. Keeping things relatively high level, each of the sound sources, let's have a look at the one in the top left-hand corner. You can click here to select either 3 modes, which is either a beat rhythm, a pad, or an ARP. Now, each selection obviously will reveal a unique subset that makes sense for that particular mode. With the ARP setting, you can control the speed that's synced to your DAW, the octave that the ARP can fluctuate between, there's the attack and there's the decay. You can transpose the MIDI up and down a number of semitones by clicking here, or you can slide up and down here as you see fit. You can change the tone, which pitches the actual sample up and down over the length of the keyboard according to how you've selected it. Over here is the familiar high pass, low pass, delay, and reverb controls. Just momentarily selecting over here to beat, you can see the controls shaped differently. So a beat is like a pulsing rhythm version of this preset, or not preset, but this sound source, if you will. And likewise, a pad is more that soft, washing swell sound that we're all familiar with a pad. These cogs here reveals a secondary layer of controls that controls the auto pan feature. If you want to do that, you can reset all the layers to its original results, and you can even set the output on your MIDI DAW, or actually your kontakt output can be selected from here. I'm going to leave that at output. And you can also obviously do a offset where the sample is to start. If you want to bite right into the heart of the sample, you can dial that up and down as you see fit. Okay, so let's click away these menu options. Now, I must say bravo to the team for a lovely design. I love the transparent, translucent feel, because it makes it feel a lot cleaner than what otherwise would be a very busy UI indeed. Bravo, fellas, great work there. Over here, we have these cogs that allows you to control the volume modulator, the attack and the release of your samples. You can control the X, Y, CC parameters using here, and you can also control the crossfade. What else have we got? Down here in effects, you have the ability to control your delay and your reverb. And we also have a big fat generation randomization button indicated by the dice, which is a huge source of inspiration, because hitting that dice can take you from a set preset to let's hit it again. And we get and of course you click away to adjust to your heart's content, and when you're finally done, you can save it all as a preset. And the final feature I want to introduce you to, let's click away the menus, is the ability to control the XY pad, this lovely little panel that just clicks out from the side. Let's reveal it. You can, obviously, when you play, you can choose the form, whether it's a circle, so it does the XY morphing for you. You can change the form in the opposite direction. You can choose that particular pattern, or indeed a figure eight. You can change the scale. Does that mean that it's close to the center, or is it really far and wide out to the corners? You can change the phase, which is the pivot point around the axis, the speed at which that changes. And of course, no feature like this would be complete if you didn't have the ability to record your own. So hit the record button, trace out your favorite pattern where you want it to go, and then just press play, and you're off to the races. Gorgeous feature. So I've been doing a lot of talking. How about we turn the microphone off and give you a chance to listen to Motion with some of my favorite presets. Out of the 200, I could easily name 150 that would qualify as my favorite. I've just randomly chosen half a dozen from those that I like to show you what I love about Motion. So I want to share with you now a short composition I wrote using Motion. Let's head on over there now, and on the other side of that, I'll give you my final thoughts. Blecksaudio's Motion for me is a standout winner. I was impressed with their earlier offering, Distinction, for which I did a review on this channel, so do go and check that out when you're finished here. Blecksaudio is a small and emerging developer out of Germany, and I know it's a terrible cliche, but it has all the hallmarks of great German design and engineering. The sleek and compact UI is very well laid out and designed, and the use of the transparent and translucent menus and controls gives it an air of being uncluttered, although there are plenty of controls for you to love. I love instruments that you don't have to work too hard for, and Motion is one such instrument. The sound sources are gorgeous and they are complementary, meaning that no matter what you come up with, you will always feel a sense of consistency. As I mentioned earlier, I think its superpower is that it provides a gorgeous underpinning to your compositions. It can add a lovely warmth and a depth to orchestral compositions and is great for softer, subtle delivery of an emotional story. When I was playing with it, I could see a panning camera across a human moment of love, longing, or even sadness within a scene. But it also has a gentle, uplifting, pulsing element too that carries a rhythm that supports but is not bombastic. And I can't complete a review of Blecksaudio instrument without a nod to the effort and the care that they've taken with their explanatory videos. It's so genuinely appreciated, at least by this reviewer. This is one of my favourite releases of the year. Sleek design, gorgeous warmth, ease of use, and at €149 it will certainly have a place in my catalogue of instruments. Well, that's it for today's video. My thanks to you if you made it this far. On your way out, leave a comment about what you think of Motion from Blecksaudio. Could it work for you? And if you haven't already, how about a like and a subscribe to inspire us here at The Samplist to keep providing more great content. This is Greg for The Samplist, over and out.